Sister Wives Kody Brown continues to play victim card. Sister Wives star Kody Brown frequently accuses other people of playing the victim card. But is he really the one doing it all along? For years now, fans have grown tired of Kody and Robyn Brown's constant complaining. In confessionals, they describe how the ex-wives and their children all hate them. And yet, they continue pointing fingers at everyone else. At this point, Sister Wives fans seem completely finished with the family patriarch and his shenanigans. See what they said online. Kody Brown always seems to be a victim. This season, Kody Brown certainly accused others of pretending to be a victim. He even accused self-reliant Janelle of playing the special victim card. So what do fans think? Is everyone really out to get Kody, or is it all a figment of his imagination? The V card, a Reddit user shared online recently. Who is playing it? They attached an ad-generated image of Kody and Janelle playing cards. Kody holds the victim card in his hands, prompting a response from other Sister Wives viewers. He's the one who plays victim every day of his life. What an absolute ****. Absolutely. If anyone is playing the victim card, it's him. He has done it constantly since Cristin decided to leave. He's a narcissist, so he always sees himself as the victim. I literally don't know who speaks like this in real life, and I'm sure he had that line rehearsed for ages. Janelle has this card, it says victim, and she likes to play it. Who talks like this? He invented the card. It should have his picture on it. Fans are tired of the same old. On Reddit, plenty of Sister Wives viewers have expressed frustration with Season 19. They feel that each new episode is the same as the one before it, and in every episode, Kody whines and acts like the world is out to get him. Every episode feels like I'm watching the same episode again, one annoyed viewer wrote on Reddit. Is anyone else feeling like this? Like I feel like I literally am seeing the same thing over and over. I'm genuinely confused as to what the point of these episodes are. Like, we know the plot. Cristin and David get married. Like, who cares? It's not new information for anyone. The once unbreakable bonds among Kody Brown and his wives have become increasingly strained, and as time passes, it appears that Kody's attempts to maintain control over the family unit are wearing thin. Rather than introspection or taking accountability, Kody seems to be leaning hard on his favorite narrative, the victim card. As fans watch, it's evident that Kody's declarations of his suffering and his insistence that he has been wronged are less about introspection and more about self-preservation. Whether he's lamenting the complications of plural marriage, the unfair treatment he feels he's received, or the sacrifices he's supposedly made, Kody's story has turned into a saga of self-pity. When Cristin left him, it was the first shockwave through the family, a wake-up call, if you will. For the other wives, it revealed a crack in Kody's perfect husband persona. Cristin's decision to leave was a revelation. It empowered her, sent a powerful message to the other wives, and threatened Kody's control. But instead of focusing on the reasons for her departure, like how he ignored her needs and diminished her feelings, Kody positioned himself as a casualty, seemingly blindsided by her exit. I just don't understand how she could do this to me, he lamented, projecting an image of betrayal rather than facing the truth that Cristin had been voicing her struggles for years. Her independence became a threat to his authority, and instead of respecting her decision, he crafted a story in which he was the forsaken, loyal husband. Kody's claims of sacrifice are another facet of his self-victimization. He continuously reminds everyone of the burdens he's taken on to sustain a family as large as theirs. The problem? This so-called sacrifice often translates to control and favoritism. The time and resources he dedicates to Robyn, a decision that doesn't go unnoticed by the rest of the wives, become twisted into examples of his compromises. Instead of acknowledging the choices that have caused rifts, he tells the other wives how hard he's worked to keep the family together, subtly or not so subtly, pointing fingers at them for not showing enough gratitude. It's a classic, look how much I'm doing for you narrative. But Janelle, Mary, and even Cristin in the past could see through the facade. Kody's sacrifices often seem more beneficial to him than to them. His victim narrative extends to his handling of Mary, his first wife, whose relationship with him has become distant at best. When the emotional closeness with Mary dissolved, Kody's narrative was clear. Mary had been unfaithful, and she had broken his heart. The irony. This reasoning masked the truth that Kody had already distanced himself emotionally and romantically long before Mary's online scandal. For him, It wasn't about reconciliation or introspection. It was about control and retribution, a justification for withholding affection, an excuse to publicly validate his victimhood. In recent seasons, Cody's issues with his adult children have also added layers to his narrative. For instance, he often struggles to balance relationships with his children, who are now old enough to form their own opinions and see through some of his contradictions. When Gabriel expressed disappointment and hurt that Cody hadn't called him on his birthday, Cody turned the blame around, insisting that his children don't understand his pressures or the demands placed upon him. The hurt, confusion, and resentment from his kids often go unaddressed in his mind because Cody sees their grievances as personal attacks against him rather than as reflections of his own choices and shortcomings. The recent season's conversations between Cody and Janelle further highlight his victim narrative. She calls him out not in anger, but with a piercing honesty that leaves Cody scrambling. Janelle's frustrations with his lack of support during the pandemic, his favoritism, and his unwillingness to meet her halfway clash with Cody's narrative that he's doing his best. When faced with Janelle's pointed words, Cody seems stunned. Rather than truly listening, he falls back on portraying himself as misunderstood and underappreciated, reiterating that he's stretched too thin. It's as if the weight of his decisions is too heavy for him to hold, so he places the blame on everyone else for being unable to see the bigger picture. And then there's Robin. His unwavering favoritism toward her isn't just an open secret. It's a lightning rod for the other wives' frustrations. Cody's connection with Robin is different. She's his confidant, his preferred partner, and the one who defends his every move. But rather than owning his partiality, Cody frames the situation as a matter of loyalty. In his mind, the other wives are unsupportive and unwilling to align themselves with him. He even presents Robin's position as evidence of how hard he has to work to keep his family together. In reality, his favoritism is apparent to everyone, creating divisions within the family that are impossible to ignore. Yet, rather than admit to the favoritism that might have driven his other wives away, Cody weaves a narrative in which Robin is his only true ally, and the others have somehow forsaken him. Cody's victim mentality is more than just a shield, it's a form of control. By framing himself as the aggrieved party, he not only avoids taking responsibility, but also redirects sympathy toward himself. His selective memory about family conflicts, his tendency to ignore his own role in the unraveling dynamics, and his insistence that the family just doesn't understand him point to a pattern that keeps him from looking inward. It's easier for Cody to limit his suffering than it is to admit that his actions have consequences. The reality that Cody might not fully grasp is that his wives are evolving beyond the boundaries he's set for them. Cristin's departure served as a catalyst, inspiring Janelle and perhaps even Mary to assess their own happiness independently of Cody's narratives. They're no longer willing to be pawns in a story where he's the protagonist and they're merely supporting characters. Cristin's departure symbolized a new chapter for the other wives, a reminder that they have agency, that they don't have to be trapped in a narrative where they are villains and Cody the unappreciated martyr. As viewers watch Cody's tale unfold, the question becomes, how long will he be able to play the victim before the facade crumbles completely? His wives, both current and former, are starting to reclaim their own narratives, separate from his. And while Cody might continue to cling to his narrative of betrayal, sacrifice, and unfair treatment, he's losing control of the storyline. In the end, Cody's choice to position himself as the victim might bring him sympathy in the short term. But in the larger arc of their family story, it risks costing him the love and loyalty of the very people he's trying so hard to hold on to. And as his wives continue to grow in strength and independence, they're showing him and the world that they're more than the supporting cast in his self-crafted drama. They're protagonists in their own right, capable of moving forward without him.